beautiful Pleasanton, California afternoon, looking at a very nice 1932 Ford all-steel Brookville body built by Brizio. This is a Brizio built street rod. It's very nice. It's finished in a 1963 Corvette saddle tan, and it's just spectacular look and feel. You know, everybody's got a blacker car, different kind of colors, but or red car, but this is kind of neat to see. It's actually very cool too. It's a little bit of a warm sunny day here, and the car is actually very cool to the touch, which makes for a little bit more funner riding experience. It's a very elegant looking car. It all the top names are in this car. The paint's by Daryl Hollenbeck. It is, like I said, a 63 Corvette saddle tan. The body's by Mickey Galloway. It is Brizio built. Sid Shaver's top, Sid Shaver's interior, leather interior, very nicely done. It's a little windy, so you're going to catch me speaking up a little bit. These are true knockoff PS Engineering wheels on them. The hood on these cars, or the frame, is stretched just a couple inches to give you a little bit more driver compartment room and a little more engine compartment room, and you really can't even notice by the look. So they got a nice feel to them. This car has definitely been driven. It's got 9,300 miles on it, or right around 9,000 miles. I'll have to look exactly when we get around to the interior. I think I probably already said it, but these are 33 Ford headlights, very nicely done. 4-inch dropped axle, super belt dropped axle with the polished billet backing plates and the front disc brakes. Has a working cowl vent. Let me see, I do have a cheat sheet in my hand, so I like to cover it from time to time. The aluminum hood is by Jack Hagman. The upholstery and topper by Sid Shaver's. It has a ZZ430. I really like ZZ430 engines. They're nice and healthy cars, healthy engines. Shifting the gears is a Tremec 5-speed. If it's a little windy, I apologize. 3.0 rear end gear ratio, and it does have true track. It's a Curry 9-inch with Positrack and 3.0 ratio gears. BF Goodrich radial tires on it. There's the Brizio sticker. You've probably seen this car before. It's a beautiful car. This top on the car is a fresh item to the car. It's very new, probably within the last year or so. I'm hoping it just the wind's picking up on me here, but it's okay. We'll step inside here to the passenger side. Maybe it'll die down just a little bit. Kind of neat to see the reflection of the Brizio sticker here on the dash, kind of neat. We'll hop on in here and kind of give you a feel. Moon equipped gauges, very nice, 9,236 miles. I like the steering column and the tachometer, the mood tachometer. Vintage style shifter. Again, this is Sid Shaver's interior. This is German square weave carpet with mats, and these mats have had mats on top of the mats. It's a very nice saddle and chocolate two-tone leather. It's not actually two-tone. The bead is like a chocolate, so it gives it kind of a nice offset. Map door pockets in it, so you can stick your chapstick in the door jamb, or lipstick if there's a passenger here that happens to have that. I screw up from time to time in my videos, but I love what I do. This is a collapsible top. You could take it apart and put it in the trunk, but sometimes that's probably a little more trouble than it's worth. The door's shut very nice. We will have full undercarriage video on this car. It's just spectacular top to bottom. You've heard me say that already on this car, but I say that a lot with these top-end built cars, and they're worth every penny that you pay for them. Brookville steel body, top name bodywork and fit and finish. This car's been built a few years, and that paint looks just as good as the day it was done. In fact, probably better. 32 steel. It's got a little bit slightly upgraded fuel tank in it. I think up to about 14 gallons on it. We'll give you a little peek of the rear end here. We're definitely going to show you the undercarriage up here pretty soon, and engine compartment, but we'll give you a little peek there. Pardon the wind today. You know what? I can't change the weather. I can change the way the lights hit in the car though. Anyway, wow. Step back and let you take a really good look at the side view of this car. It's a great looking car. We just try and show you the car and walk around and try and keep it from being boring and show you anything that we see or so on and so forth. But somebody The gentleman that had this built, who is the owner that has it for sale, so it's not been through 2 owners, and this particular car is built, was commissioned by the gentleman that you'd be buying it from, or the couple. Nice little touch here with a German square weave at the bottom of the door so you aren't kicking the leather. It does have the Hotronics turn signals that turn off by themselves automatically. Sprint car style steering wheel that's wrapped in the leather that matches the seats. Get a little wind out of here. Full gauges in these cars, which makes it nice and fun. And the firewall's been pancaked and and cut so that you'd have more pedal room when you sit in this car. I'm 6'1", about 200 pounds, give or take a few. And there's just tons of pedal room. I mean, I feel like I go to sleep in this car and spend the day. My arms are actually very comfortable in here, and I'm looking straight across just to give you a view where my eyeballs are, probably about there. Very nice. Of course, the windshield functions like it's supposed to. The cowl vent works like it's supposed to. There's your air conditioning. Does have a heater fan right there. We're going to actually fire it up. Oh, and you can always tell when you got a pro-built street rod. They usually do nice things like make sure that it's in neutral before it starts. It has an e-brake. We're going to fire it up here. So you can't start this car unless you have it in neutral. It's nice and cool in here. It's probably 80 degrees out today, and this car is just spectacular inside. This color, I'm sure, lends itself a lot to that. Anyway, we're going to get out. We'll let you hear it. It didn't even warm up hardly coming over here. Of course, we're only a few blocks away. Oil pressure is probably, at about, let's see, 1,500 RPMs. Oil pressure is 50. Volts are 14. Temp's not really warmed up yet. Fuel gauge is working at 3/4. That ZZ 430 is just sweet. I've done a lot of street rods that have ZZ 430s in them, and this is they're a nice motor. Literally bulletproof. Of course, that Brookville body. Gonna give you a woo! We're thinking you get it. You definitely get in. Hang on to the end of the video here. We're gonna have engine compartment, trunk, undercarriage. Have a great day. Thanks for coming to Spud's Garage, and don't forget, we pulled it into the shade here to look at the engine compartment so we didn't have a bunch of stuff glaring at us and all that kind of stuff. But I'm going to cover a couple things. These ZZ 430s are just really nice motors. They're torquey. I believe they're 430 horse, 430 torque. You can look at the specs on the web anywhere. Don't quote me specifically on that. But they have a really nice streetable feel to them that you just can't duplicate. They're actually bulletproof. They're a GM 350 crate motor. Notice the bow tie on the intake manifold here. It has a Carter AFB carburetor. GM, a Carter AFB or Weber. It's a Weber actually, but they're all the same. That carburetor's been copied over the years so many times. Edelbrock. Anyway, GM HEI ignition, 32 Ford VIN tag. One of the things I wanted to point out is I mentioned on the undercarriage video, and I mentioned on some of the walk around, that the firewall was kind of pie cut to allow more room, and the front end was extended. You can see where the firewall would typically go straight down. It's been pie cut here, and this is a lot of work. There's a lot of fabrication that goes into this. So it's tipped forward to give a lot more leg room. And then what they did is they actually moved the engine, just forward just enough so that the engine has more room, and so the front suspension was moved forward, consequently 2 inches, which gives you a lot more leg room, feet room, and it gives the car a better feel too. 2-inch stretch is very, very, when you look at it, it's not very much. So, sometimes they stretch these too far and they start looking long and differently. But electronic cooling fan that comes on by itself, Walker radiator. These are aluminum head, the ZZ 430s. We'll try and get down here and kind of give you a feel. Aluminum water cooling water pump with aluminum pulleys, high amp alternator, ceramic coated headers, short tube headers. Fit and finish is unbelievable. Of course, you can, this is a Dan Fink style hood side which opens from one side, but all the hardware, you'll see a lot of these are painted, but there's no corners cut on this car. This is all chrome plated stuff. It's very nicely done. That makes it so it's tough for me to get around to the other side and show it from the other side view, but just want to share it with you. A good view. The latches on the inside has a prop rod here that's built into the hood. Anyway, we're hoping you dig this video. Make sure you hang on to the end. We cover a lot more stuff. These road trips, sometimes I make mistakes. If I need to make a correction, I'll definitely make a correction, but for the most part, you get these things raw and live, and I just bring them all together. Working Calvin again. Anyway, hang on to the end of the video. We're definitely going to cover more for you. Let's take a look at the trunk here. Very nice, very typical of a Brizio built car. German square weave carpet, very nicely done. The fit and finish of these cars is just spectacular. I know you'll probably hear me say that from time to time. There's the battery cutoff switch right here. A little windy, so I'm hiding in the trunk. Here's the battery box. There's a whole entire well underneath the side of the back of this, behind the seat in this baby. So there's plenty of room to store things and do things. This is an actual mat on top of the square weave carpet right here. It's all leather trimmed, very, very nicely done. Anyway, hang on to the end of the video. We'll definitely have more. And don't forget to go to spudsgarage.com. A little windy. Talk to you soon. There's Bob top on it, which is new this year. It's a very, very nicely done top. These are nice tops. It actually has the back window with a small porthole sized window in the back. Do a little bit of outside undercarriage here so you guys can get a feel before we go up on the lift, and the lift will be the end of the video. But I like to give you a kind of a feel of how it appears on the ground with ground clearance and so on and so forth, which is a lot on this car. It's got very nice ground clearance. The exhaust is run up. We'll cover the detail of the undercarriage in more detail. Just a short little clip before we go on the lift. I know some of the stuff I couldn't cover on the lift. These are 17 inches on the back. They're let me get my eyeballs right here, 255/60 R17s in the rear, and these are true knockoff wheels. You notice the wire tie right there. Go around the front, we'll give you a feel here. Actually, there's a lot of ground clearance on this car. Yeah, they're a little low in the nose, but there's no nose marks on this car. Got my camera bag sitting over there at the end. The front tire size is a 195/60 R15, so 17s. And these are BF Goodrich Comp TAH R4 tires. So 17s and 15s. Nice hairpins, chrome front end, chrome variable gear ratio box. Again, I'm going to cover all that on the undercarriage up on the lift. Anyway, we'll give you one look up here, and then I'm going to shut the camera off and take you up on the lift. Hey, thanks for coming to Spud's Garage again. Hang on, I know I say that a few times. Let's take a look at the undercarriage. As you know, I usually visit this first, and then you're watching it at the end of the video. Man, this is a very nice car. It's a good place to start, good place to end. Anyway, we'll give you a good look at all the way through the undercarriage here, so on and so forth. You'd never know the miles are on this car that we mentioned during the video, that it has 9,000 miles on it. This car is extremely well taken care of. It's got 11-inch drum brakes on the rear. They're ceramic heat coated, so they stay nice and clean and look good. Chrome backing plates. Obviously, Daryl Hallenbeck also painted the chassis on this car. It is absolutely exceptional. There's a few modifications to it that allow some more pedal room for the driver and gives you a little bit better ride. The tailpipes here have been chromed. Ceramic coated exhaust. Kind of leaves me a little speechless as I walk along here and look. Nice aluminum fasteners on the stainless brake lines, so on and so forth here. Looks like a Corvette master cylinder. Is that Ray?
Yes, it is.
Yep. Here, obviously, here's your horns. Here's a fuel filter assembly. It is a Tremec 5-speed transmission. I just can't get over the finish on this car underneath. It's just, I've standing around and stared at it before I fired up the camera, and I got to tell you, this is spectacular. It's got one little mark here from when they were pulling it into a trailer. You can't see it on the side. It's merely on the bottom there. You could probably touch it up if you liked. Where a little ramp kicked up. It's only on the one side right there. Hairpins. This is a Super Bell dropped axle drilled. 4-inch drop in the axle. It has the Superbill aluminum backing plates on it with Willwood disc, braided lines, ZZ430 engine. You're looking at the bottom side of that. I've already told you about that in the previous portions of the video. It's a mini high torque starter, nice chrome oil pan. This car is just super clean. He takes care of it. This is a quick ratio steering box because the owner likes the feel of a quick ratio. Let me get my little cheat sheet here so I don't look silly. We'll turn around here. You can see the Superbill logo on the top of those backing plates. Those are actually discs up there, so it has front disc brakes. Curry 9-inch with True Track. I'm going to show you something here. I grabbed my cheat sheet. The firewall's actually moved or cut back a little bit, and pie cut so that you can have more pedal room forward. And the chassis itself is actually extended about 2 inches. But you'd never know by looking at it. Any more than that, you start noticing it. But just super clean. Mechanical fuel pumps right there. Let's see here. Firewall cut and pedals move forward 2 inches. It has a Walker radiator. It is a Superbill 4-inch drop and drilled front axle. I'll cover more. I've already covered most of it. Look at the bell crank for the clutch. I mean, they really assemble these cars very, very nice. All the hardware is either plated or polished. Not sure if I missed anything or not. The way the exhaust is hung here. Let's see here. All bolts have been custom turned. That's a 14-gallon fuel tank, so it's got a little bit of extra fuel tank room in it. The car does come with an entire build folder that shows pretty much the evolution of the car. Anyway, we're thinking you get a good feel of the undercarriage of this car. If you're thinking seriously, this Brizio built car is absolutely spectacular. Go to spudsgarage.com. You're on Spuds Garage YouTube, and you might see it on Spuds Garage eBay, or you may even see it on here. The owner brought it to my attention. We talked about the turned bolts. If you see the head here on the coilover, all the bolts in the car have the heads turned that way. I can feel it right here on this one. All the hardware on the suspension is that way. Anyway, hang on for more.